Averting a shutdown, Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer announcing that lawmakers have struck a deal to extend government spending until the beginning of December. If it passes the Senate this morning, it will move to the House and then the president's desk with just hours to spare. It looks like a government shutdown is now off the table. Joining me right now is Oklahoma Senator, member of the Senate Homeland Governmental Affairs and Finance Committees, James Lankford. Senator, it's great to see you this morning. Thanks very much for being here. Where do we stand with all of the negotiations on the spending plans?
Well, we stand at the precipice again, and everyone's doing the countdown clock, so we shouldn't have to be here. Literally, Chuck Schumer and the Senate Democrats have not taken up a single budget bill for the entire year for the 12 appropriation bills. They've been so busy dealing with voting issues and everything else that they've not taken up a single one of the basic budget bills that are here. So we now have to do what's called a continuing resolution to be able to keep the government open. Democrats have agreed to say, okay, we're going to do the debt ceiling by ourselves, and so they've split that out from the two. And that was the demand of Republicans. We're not going to help you cover all of this debt spending when they're planning to spend $5.5 trillion over our normal budget spending just this year in new entitlements.
That is just extraordinary, truly. The House is expected to vote on the $1 trillion infrastructure bill today. But we know that the Speaker says that the vote could be delayed again because Democrats remain divided around these spending bills. Senator Joe Manchin released a statement on both packages last night saying that he's made it clear to both the president and his party leaders spending trillions more on new expanded government programs when we can't even pay for the essential programs like Social Security and Medicare is the definition of fiscal insanity. Senator, what are your thoughts on whether or not infrastructure gets passed today? The vote, will it happen today? Will it pass today? Can we actually separate these two bills?
The two bills could be separated, but this is a battle between the left and the far left, trying to determine how they're going to actually manage these two bills. They had planned to do it on the 27th of September. In fact, announced a month ago they were going to have the vote the 27th of September. They obviously didn't have the votes. They're now saying they could do it as early as today, or they could delay it again. This is individuals that are over there on the left that are saying they want to do the infrastructure bill, in the very, very far left that are saying they want all of a $3.5 trillion bill, saying they won't support the infrastructure bill unless they also get this brand new entitlement package. And just to give you a sense of the new entitlements the far left is wanting to do, the budget of every single state in America, is $2 trillion. They're wanting to do a $3.5 trillion new entitlement package on top of the existing entitlements that are there. We know what that'll do to the economy. We know what that'll do to inflation. We know what that'll do to work and finding more people to be able to work. We know what that'll do to all that. But the far, far left continues to be able to push. They want a more socialist nation. They want to have all these brand new entitlements.
Yeah, meanwhile, the mobs are coming after the moderate senators, Manchin and Sinema, saying, you had Joy Behar on The View yesterday saying they are enemies of the country. And they are stopping the agenda. It's extraordinary, Senator. What's your take on the pressure that you get because you won't roll over for another $7 trillion in spending?
Yeah, it's pretty remarkable that we have the far, far left that's actually pressuring people to say, if you don't do this massive new debt spending piece, we're going to come after you. We're going to protest at your house. We've already seen it, where these protesters will literally show up at your own home, show up there on weekends, come and shout at you. We watched it during the Kavanaugh hearings, where they would come into the Capitol and follow senators around just screaming at them, get in the elevator and pile in with them and scream at them all the way down, chase them through the airports. So we've seen the tactics of the far left, how mean and vindictive they really are to be able to pursue people. What Joe Manchin is doing and what Kyrsten Sinema is doing and what other Democrats behind them that have real questions are doing is saying, where are we going as a country? What's happening with this giant debt? Shouldn't we think about this more? Joe Manchin has brought up a simple thing. We're rushing into $3.5 trillion in new entitlements on top of the $2 trillion that were done earlier this year. Shouldn't we think about this more? And the far left is saying, no, don't think, just do, just pile on more while we can. I'm actually on Joe Manchin's side on this one. We should think about it.
Senator, let me ask you about this one element of the reconciliation plan that the Treasury wants banks to monitor our bank accounts. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen defended the Biden administration idea to propose forcing U.S. banks to report all American transactions out of their accounts. Is it a minimum of $600 that he wants to report to the IRS, or is it $10,000? I mean, what is the point of all of this, and do you think that goes through?
Well, I don't know if that goes through because Democrats are solely in charge of trying to be able to cram this through. I certainly hope it does not. We're pushing. I'll be back on the floor again today challenging that issue. They originally started with a $600 transaction that they wanted to be able to report to the IRS. Now they're saying, no, they're going to move it to $10,000. What they're not saying is that's $10,000 over an entire year, which by far many bank accounts will have in and out transactions totaling up to $10,000 in a year. So they're trying to be able to get all of that information. They're just doing a sneaky new way to be able to do it. They're looking for the IRS to be able to look into every bank account in America. Bankers that I've talked to are very concerned about that, saying we are not doing the bidding of the IRS. That's going to lose all the privacy rights that the people that do deposits here, and it will actually incentivize people not to deposit money in the bank, which breaks down our banking system. Yeah. So Democrats are so focused on getting more money out of the IRS, they're willing to challenge even the banking system to do it.
Meanwhile, there was a report recently that Joe Biden owns $500,000. He owes $500,000 to the IRS because he had an S corporation for the books that he's written and the speeches that he's given, and he actually really needs to pay his fair share, Senator. I guess that's what it comes down to. Real quick on the foreign affairs situation, Senator, what's your take? Should we see somebody resign because of all of these mistakes out of Afghanistan, 13 of our servicemen dead?
We should see multiple people resign in the process that will step away and to be able to say, okay, I need to walk away and allow new leadership that's going to be trusted. Again, everyone behind them in the military chain of command and in the National Security Council and in the State Department are all looking up towards leaders saying you made decisions that clearly cost Americans lives, and we still have hundreds of people that are still in Afghanistan. Remember, they keep saying we've got about 100 more, but then they'll 100 more Americans that are still in Afghanistan. That it seems like every couple of days they report 100 people have come out, but there seems to always be 100 more that's there just over and over again. So yes, there needs to be clear accountability.
It's hard to keep up with all of the mistruths coming out of this administration. There's people behind enemy lines struggling to get out, and we don't know how many. Senator, thanks very much for all you're doing. We'll be watching. Thank you, sir.
Great to see you again.